Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Ariel Tienko.
And I'm Summers McKay.
And we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help us get focused on what's going right in the world.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, binge-listen-worthy podcast. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of January, 2022. Well, we're back.
Yes, we are. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yep. Happy New Year, everybody. And hopefully this new year is already looking brighter. Ariel, how was your vacation?
It was really relaxing. There wasn't a lot of family, friends, hustle and bustle like there normally is for me, but I found this year to be quite tranquil, and I was able to focus on myself and all my hobbies and recenter. How about you?
Well, first I want to ask before we get into mine, how are the painting of flowers going?
The painting is going really well. My parents actually sent me some more paintbrushes in the mail, and I know they're probably listening to the podcast too, so thanks, Mom and Dad. And yeah, I've just been keeping at it, moving on a little bit from flowers and starting to paint fruit. So we'll see how well I can get my technical skills.
Oh, well, I thought of you this morning because I had to, in order to get my daughter to go to school, because she was not particularly excited after 19 days home with mom and dad. She kind of wasn't totally sure about needing to go to school, but I convinced her. We decided to make a potion. We made fairy soup and courage potion.
Oh,
and
wow.
So we went and we got flowers, and then we got some lavender and some peppermint, and we mixed it together, and then we sprinkled her courage potion on her little stuffed animal that she took, and then we sprinkled it on her toes so her feet would have courage. But I thought of you this morning because I had this whole like cute fairy soup in a little silver cup thing.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I'm still working on it.
Well, our holiday was a thing. No, it was wonderful. 19 days of vacation, of basically like forced vacation, was different than I planned, right? We, the Optimist Daily Update, we pre-recorded a lot of episodes. You guys did a great job on stepping in for Kristy and I when we were not recording. But I really, really missed work. And I missed being able to be with my colleagues and talk to you guys every day. And I missed that I didn't read the Optimist Daily every day. I loved being with my daughter and my extended family. But I realized that it gave me a recentering focus on the joy that I find in the work that we do and the stories that we tell and the lives we impact with our dorky podcast. It just, I came out of it with like so much gratitude for this job and my colleagues. And as much as we're heartbroken that Amelia has gone on to a new adventure, I'm just so grateful to come back to work with everybody who is part of the team. And as we're going to expand the team and hire new people, it made me very proud to do what we do here at the Optimist Daily. I also like super duper honed my mom skills, and Brennan and I had a wonderful time. And then I had like kind of a weird surgery that,
oh my,
that was the other weird thing that happened. And I think we'll have to like do an anti-inflammation series or ways to deal with like early onset arthritis, because at 43 years old, it turns out I have arthritis in my index finger, which is largely, I think, from working online and being a writer and typing constantly and mousing constantly. But anyway, so I had like a weird little surgery right before New Year's, and that was on my finger. And so I'm currently in like a soft cast on my hand. So the whole holiday was a ton. And the traveling and, have our family ended up with COVID, but nobody really got very sick. And yeah. So I'm super grateful to be at work today, sitting here with my cat and with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm also grateful. You know what they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of distance and stories and opportunity, I don't know. This is going to be a terrible transition. I'm clearly not good at my job at this week. But do you want to take a first stab at your story today? What do you want to talk about on the Optimist Daily today?
Okay, well, I am tuning in to my inner band geek. I don't know if you know, but I played the baritone and the tuba and the euphonium, which are all pretty much the same instrument, for like 11 years. I was super band geeking it.
That is the coolest thing I've ever learned about you. I love the idea of you walking around with the tuba. I did not realize you were a band geek. Thank you. Thank you for your admission. And are you any good at tuba?
Well, I would like to say that I am. And I think I probably still have it, but it's been a really long time since I've been able to get my hands on a brass instrument of any kind. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Oh my goodness, I love this. Okay, so then this clearly makes sense why you chose this story. Tell everyone what your headline is.
So the headline reads, Turning Waste into Musical Instruments for Disadvantaged Youth. So there's a creative social project based in Spain called Music for Recycling, involving the coming together of an inventive orchestra comprised of youth from underprivileged communities. So musical instruments are usually quite expensive, but the instruments that the initiative provides are actually made from materials that would have otherwise ended up in a landfill. One of the orchestra's members is Cristina Vazquez, and she grew up in a poor neighborhood in Madrid and never imagined that she'd one day be the orchestra's first violinist. And get this, she's playing a violin made from colorful soda cans. Other instruments in the orchestra include a string bass that has an old skateboard as a body, and the drums are made from plastic barrels. These instruments are fashioned by luthier Fernando Soler, who uses cans, wooden boxes, cutlery, and parts of other discarded instruments to make the instruments that he creates as close to their normal shape, quote unquote, normal shape as possible, so that the children won't have difficulty transferring their knowledge on a conventional instrument in the future. The project was founded by Spanish environmental group Eco Embes and took inspiration from Paraguay's Cateura Orchestra, which was made up of musicians from a slum who play instruments that are also made from discarded rubbish.
I love this
So,
story. This is
I
so
know.
beautiful. This is such a cool story.
Yeah, it really kind of kills two birds with one stone. So they're helping children, stay on the right path, because a lot of the youths who have participated in the orchestra say that it has helped them stay in school and
Mhm.
maybe hang out less with questionable friends and instead invest their time in music. But it also takes away from landfills. So the orchestra now plays in cities across the country and has helped at least 4 of its members get scholarships at music schools and public conservatories. Right now, there are more than 100 children taking music classes from the members of the orchestra as part of the project. So I just thought that this story was just nice and heartwarming.
I think this story is really compelling because there's a visual component, an auditory component, an ecological component, and an education component, right? So you have the art that is created by making these instruments, right? So just the visual art of these found object creations. And then the education. And I saw a meme over the holidays that was basically a picture of like a big orchestra. And it was like, if you want this, then you have to have this. And the picture below was like kids taking music classes, right, in school. So investing in musical curriculum is something that's always a hot topic, right? Taking away music class. No, we can't. And this story is beautiful and compelling. And I think it's a perfect pick to start off the new year with some determined, pragmatic optimism.
So what stuck out to you out of
All
the
right.
headlines today?
I traditionally don't really subscribe to New Year's resolutions. I like to go through and make commitments and recommit to myself some things and values that I have. And I've done a lot of work on what are my core values. I already sort of know who I am and what I want from this world. But this particular year, I am kind of looking at resolutions as life focusing and redirecting strategies, because we wrote a really good Optimist View this past weekend on trends that we've seen in 2021 that should continue in 2022. And I think part of my commitment or New Year's resolution to myself this year is really looking at what has gone well, what resources are available, what I'm good at, and doing it all in a way that elevates my life experience. So, whether it's fairy soup potions making with my daughter or using the charitable resources and funds that I, have saved over the years in order to accelerate opportunities for great organizations and launch Optimist Daily even further. So I'm picking a headline about New Year's resolutions. My headline reads, use these 7 science-based strategies to make your resolutions stick this year. For many of us, the new year means new goals, dreams, habits. Take a vacation, stop eating so much chocolate. Whether you're trying to become more active, practice a new hobby, play the tuba, save money. There are some science-based strategies to help you stick to your resolutions all year long. This list comes from Georgetown psychology professor Yelena Kekmanovic.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds right. All right. Sorry, Yelena, if I got that wrong. Anyway, she says these 7 steps are the keys to success for 93% of people who set and keep New Year's resolutions. Now, before I get into this list, Ariel, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Well, I'm like you. I tend to not subscribe to the whole New Year's resolution thing because I think if you have a goal, you should just set it in the moment. But it just so
Don't
happens.
wait till January 1st kind of thing.
Yeah, like if you have something on your mind in May, then you might as well just do it then instead of waiting till January of next year. But this year, things have kind of aligned. So now I have my new goal of learning Dutch. And I'm well on my way. I've already kind of committed to taking classes at 7 in the morning every morning. But I'm pretty gung-ho about it this year.
Okay. All right. Well, so here's how you're going to stick to that resolution.
Okay, perfect. I'm taking notes.
Number 1, clarify and honor your values. Now, figuring out what you value is actually kind of the first step in this whole thing, right? You have to know what you truly value and what you consider to be your intrinsic imperatives. So for me, I truly value kindness and integrity. That's my base level values that I know are most important to me. And so if you pick resolutions that align with those core values, you're more likely to keep them. Now, frame your goals and life in positive terms. Here we go, Optimist Daily, clearly. Studies have shown that resolutions that focus on gratitude for what you can have rather than what you can't have are more effective. So this is like positive choice of saying, I would like to enjoy more fruits and vegetables as opposed to I'd like to eat less junk, right? So it's framing it in a positive direction. Change your environment. Now, stuff like avoiding sugary snacks is a lot easier if you don't keep a jar of candy at your desk. So get rid of the things that distract from your resolution. And then be prepared with if-then strategies, right? So we all set on a path with resolutions, but you're going to make a choice or have a decision that doesn't align with that goal. Then have a plan of what you do to get back on track and use a gradual approach. Don't sort of attack the whole thing at once. Just do it bite by bite. Imagine rewards and enjoy them. So when you get to the end of the goal or when you reach your achievement or when you speak fluent Dutch, imagine what the rewards will be. And perhaps for you, that's having like a really meaningful conversation with somebody who doesn't speak English. And last but not least, be kind to yourself during setbacks. Because back to the gradual approach, back to the if-then strategies, there is no point in the should-haves or self-abuse that comes around when we don't stick solely to our resolutions because life puts things in the way that make that difficult to do. I think that this, like you said, Ariel, can be applicable in May as well as in January, but resolutions, we always know that we can stick to our goals, and those are just a few ways to help you stay aligned. What else do we have on the Optimist Daily today?
Well, today the headlines read, The Secret Symmetry of Pearls Revealed. So if you're interested in jewelry or pearls, then you should definitely give that a look.
Or oysters.
Yeah, exactly. These basic recycling rules apply no matter where you live. New Jersey
and we had that whole interesting story about really figuring out what you could recycle given your area. But this is a good one because these are some basic rules no matter what.
Yeah, the universal recycling rules.
Yep. Yeah.
Another headline reads, New Jersey is the first eastern state to start phasing out diesel-powered trucks. And is journaling not your thing? Here are 3 alternatives. What else have we got?
Well, in the gardening beat, which we all know I love, tips for designing an accessible garden. New study reveals how organisms can synchronize behavior. Unisex uniforms at Indian school starts gender equality movement. Ultrasound could be used to treat addiction and OCD. That and much more, guys, is always available on the Optimist Daily. Thank you for listening to us today on the Optimist Daily Update. We promise to continue to share positive, solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it is changed for the good. We promise to cover the current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
Please consider becoming an emissary on theoptimistdaily.com, and for just $5 a month, support reader-funded independent journalism. You can be part of the solution-changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. So let's keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who can.
Everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow with more solutions.